Very special guest here, dear friend Estelle Bajou. I said it right. Every time I get the names, the last names, or the names wrong, it's a hustle with the names because I got dyslexia, so everything goes back and forth. But anyway, Stella Bajou, actor, writer, composer, right, screenwriter, all in one. We're going to talk about your work as an actor, as a musician, as a singer, as a writer. But before we do that, I want to mention Tribeca is taking place. I saw a nice, beautiful interview with Robert De Niro on The View, promoting, of course, his festival. But anyway, I went to the films last night. I went to see Michael Aronoff, my dear friend, member of the Actors Studio, one of the best actors I know. He did a film with Matthew Bonifacio. They worked together before in the past quite a few times. They're absolutely remarkable. I went to see the movie last night. It was a short film, and it was absolutely great. It was so well executed. Like I said at the end, when the movies were done, the directors came to us. It was a Q&A. I said, in the short film, you have 10 seconds to sell it or kill it. 10 seconds. Because it's true. It's like commercials. You got to be able to shoot and just be right on. And it was great to see Michael again. It's always so good to see such a great actor in action. I'm a big fan of Michael, and I love his work, and I honor his work because he's devoted, committed, he's professional, he's talented, and he's always on target. So I wanted to bring that up. By the way, the last day is going to be on Sunday. The screening is going to be right at the film festival, right at the AMC on 11th Street on 3rd Avenue. So Sunday is the last day, so you guys please go and see this wonderful film. And I send in my love to Matthew. I met him last night. We talked and we clicked. We connected. But now enough is enough. We're going to talk about you, Estelle. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It's very interesting because I see your headshots. I see you on Facebook. We're talking about in the beginning of the downstairs when you came by. I love Facebook because now with Facebook you can see pictures. I'm never good with names. I've never been, but Facebook makes you.
It's like a Rolodex with pictures.
Like yeah. So you got the pictures and you got the names, so you can learn. I can keep in my mind all the names. But anyway, still, let's talk about your work as an actor. I know that you worked with Jerry Sellers. That's how we met.
Yeah.
Right? So
Jerry
maybe we can.
Sellers is awesome.
Well, what's the name of the film that you guys worked on?
Jerry had an idea for a film that he wanted to write called Henry Buys a Hat.
I think it's a beautiful title.
Yeah, he had just gone to see Jack Goes Boating. And
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, with Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is a beautiful movie, and he thought so too, and he loved the idea that it was just like a simple premise that leads to more stuff. And so he came to me. We were hanging out, and he said, "I want to write this movie, but I've never written a movie before."
Right.
And I said, "Let's just try it." And so he wrote a draft, and I sort of gave him some feedback, and we went back and forth, and then I was like, let's try to make it. And he was like, well, I've never done that before. And I was like, I've never produced before, but let's try it. And so I got a bunch of, friends who were generous enough to join the project it was a shoestring budget. But a wonderful woman from grad school, Melinda Sorcy, directed it. And a friend of mine named Yevgeny Vaskevich shot it, and it was a great experience. And Jerry's just,
sweetest.
Yeah, and he's such a big-hearted artist and actor, and the story kind of reflects that. It has a big heart.
I haven't seen the film. Shame on me. I haven't seen it.
Well, it's hard. Short films don't have that many opportunities to get seen outside of the festival circuit. So that's where we're at now. We're submitting to festivals, and then I think we're probably going to put it up on this site called Seed and Spark, which is it's a new site started by a friend of Melinda's, and it's like a place where you can kind of pay per view short films and stuff, and they curate they curate the site, so most of what you see is
very smart
cool.
idea, because people don't have access.
I think
it's short films.
Yeah, it's a nice outlet, and you know.
Your acting career. So I know that you're part French. Am I right? You speak French fluently. You're a lucky woman. I wish I could learn it.
Well, you speak Spanish fluently. My
yes.
Spanish is, you know,
But you understand
entiendo
poquito.
más que habla.
You see how cute? Isn't that wonderful when you see actors being able to act in another language? It's to me. I just seen Kristen Scott Thomas doing a French movie.
Did you see? Yeah, she's fantastic,
She was
right?
fantastic.
But did you see I Am Love with Tilda Swinton? She
Oh,
did
I
the
haven't
whole.
seen it. I
Oh my
haven't
God, she
seen
does
it.
the whole movie in Italian with a Russian accent.
Yeah, I heard about that. Somebody
Italian
mentioned
with a
it.
Russian accent, and you can hear it. It's amazing. She's
We
amazing.
keep going out of the subject, but
Sorry.
you see, no, it's my fault because as a host, I'm directing the conversation. But what happens is when you have a different guest, every guest is going to dictate a different rhythm.
That's true.
Okay, so it's not about Tilda, it's not about Michael Arnold, it's not about that one or Charles or Gloria or Drew or me. It's about you. Charles is here. He came to visit us. And Gloria, you're freezing out, baby. Let's talk about your background. You French, American French. You were born here, but you have all the French background with your mother. Who
My mom is French. Yeah.
is a big inspiration
She's from
of
Bordeaux.
yours.
Yeah, she is. I think she's probably the reason I'm an artist.
Right.
So.
Can we talk about that? Because we were talking about that downstairs.
We were. Yeah. I don't know. I was lucky to have a parent who, I think she sort of was special in that she honored my impulses from a really young age.
And you studied violin,
Yeah,
right?
I was 4 and asked to take violin lessons, and she said yes. You know, she sort of let me try all kinds of things when I had the impulse to, and has always sort of supported me. Unconditional support and love is a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah, and she's moved by the arts as well, so she was always exposing me to stuff and, you know, French films and
which I think they're wonderful.
yeah, paintings. Like I remember when I was, how old was I? Maybe like 10 or 11. We went to see, we drove all the way to Georgia to go see. The Olympics had this art exhibit. We didn't go to see the Olympics, but they had this amazing art exhibit where they brought art from museums all over the world. And we drove, you know, from North Carolina all the way to Georgia just to go see that art exhibit. You know, that's the kind of mom she was and is still.
I don't know you. I don't know you. It takes time to get to know somebody. But I have a feeling that you're obviously extremely sensitive and very much in touch with yourself. You're not quite afraid to really be who you are. You know, it's very tricky because I guess everybody's different, but you open up in a very nice way.
Thanks.
And the way you talk about your mom, the way you talk about your upbringing, your work is very, you're not afraid. I guess that you got that from your mother, right?
Yeah, but I also...
She's a free spirit.
She is, but I also think, you know, in the last, over time I've sort of realized that vulnerability is like the only way to build intimacy and also the only I don't know, I think it's the most compelling thing about making art as well.
I think so too.
So if you don't practice that in life, you know, so it doesn't mean I'm not scared to be vulnerable, but I think you know, what do they say, like courage is not the absence of fear, it's action in the face of fear. So
right, you allow yourself to feel afraid is great, and you allow yourself to make mistakes.
I try to do lots of scary things every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Trying
think
new
it's
things.
like to be safe is a great feeling, but you need to face fear, and you need to be a little shaky.
You got to have like a
You
safe
gotta allow
environment,
yourself, of
a
course.
safe environment, so that you can feel really free to make mistakes and take risks.
Right,
I think.
and
Yeah.
you only make when you learn, and when you're making mistakes, that's when you learn. Right?
That's right, yeah.
So that's
I
the
think
only
so.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, you like exploration. You like to try different things. You love people, right?
Yeah.
You like to travel. You love to travel.
I do.
You've done quite a lot of traveling. You went to Greece with your acting. God, I don't know if we're going to have enough time that's my jacket, to cover all that. But acting specifically, how acting came to your life?
You know, that's tough. I think, I mean, my mother loves film, so we were always watching movies, and I think art was like a way for me to understand my own my own cultural identity, because we didn't live in France. It was like one of the entries into that culture. So from watching film and being inspired by storytellers in that way, and then I think in preschool I played like Little Red Riding Hood.
And you were.
And the wolf, like, oh, sorry, the mic.
Yeah, that was the mic.
Sorry.
We have to be sure the
Yeah.
mic. The sound is okay, right, guys? The
sorry.
sound is okay.
So I played Little Red Riding Hood, and I think the wolf like couldn't remember all his lines, and I remember helping him out on stage.
Giving directions. You knew back then what you wanted.
Yeah, so I don't know. Everybody has those kinds of experiences, but I guess I don't know. There was never like an aha moment for me. I think I've always gravitated towards
Different things.
the arts, and
Right.
yeah.
You came to New York 7 years ago.
Yeah, I'll be 8 in August.
8. 8
Yeah.
tough years, 8 beautiful years. How
Beautiful.
you describe it? You love what you do.
I love
The city is
this
tough
place.
as it is, but this is what you want to be, right? This is where
I
you
love
belong.
this city. I think it's the first place I've really felt like at home. I think it's a city that accepts you at whatever stage you're at, and you can be inspired, no matter what field you're in, or if you're in lots of different fields, you can be exposed to brilliant, amazing people, working in your field, and there's so much energy here. There's people from all over the world.
Circus.
Yeah.
That's why I love it.
I know.
That's why I love it. Now, what are you working on right now?
A couple of things.
Music?
Yeah. I've been scoring a short recently. I'm about to start scoring my second feature by this director he's a writer, director, actor that I think is really awesome. His name is Kevin Baggett. And I scored my first feature last summer, and it was so scary. he's so amazing, and I really wanted to honor, his work, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to pull it off. But he's asked me back to do the one he just finished shooting, and so I'm starting to think about that. And I've been working on my own script for a while, and I want to start getting that ball rolling and start. I want to start like the development process and push it forward to production, hopefully in the next year or so.
Good. Does it get scary to sit down and write stuff?
Yeah.
Why? Because I know that feeling. I don't attempt myself to call myself a writer, but why does it get scary, you think? To face the white page?
Yeah, no, it's
No?
it's not the white page for me. In undergrad, I was lucky enough to go to a school that had me write a thesis, and I would never want anybody to read it now. It was not, I'm not super proud of the work I did from like, my age now, but at the time, I think it was really important and affirming to say, oh, okay, I can write, a long work, and I wrote a screenplay. I wrote a historically based screenplay, and I really struggled with adaptation, historical adaptation, because I was worried. I sort of learned experientially that when you're telling a story, you're framing the story, and every story has so many different perspectives, right? So it was a story set in Mexico. And there were perspectives from the invaders. It was the last invasion of North America by Europe, which was this empire that they tried, Napoleon III tried to create in Mexico in the 1860s. So there was like the imperial perspective. There was the perspective of Mexicans who had already like democratically elected their own president, Benito Juarez. So
Benito Juarez.
yes,
I love how you said it.
Benito Juarez.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, so I was, but then I was like, if I tell this story, I'm gonna be choosing a perspective.
It's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, and so anytime you tell
like
a story,
that,